should be dead.
Did you hear what the kids are calling you? Phoenix.
Hello, Jean.
Who are you?
The better question is, who are you?
Something's happening to me. When I lose control, bad things happen. But it feels good.
Well, after 12 films, 20 years, the first one came in 2000, it looks like, if you want to believe the producers here, that this is the end of the X-Men franchise. The Dark Phoenix represents the big finale, sort of like Avengers, Endgame, other movies, other series that have finally come to their conclusion here. Although looking at this, I don't know. If this does well, they'll find a way to bring it back somehow. You know, you never know.
You're special, Jean. And if you stop fighting that force inside you, if you embrace it, you will possess the very power of a god.
Now, this comes from writer-director Simon Kinberg, who has produced the X-Men series and done a great job shepherding it. He certainly knows what he's doing here, and not being the uber fan here of the series, I'm going to assume, give him the benefit of the doubt, that he knows what the fans want. So if this is what they want, this is what they get, but it is very deliberately paced through most of it, not at all on the level of most summer blockbusters that don't leave any time to breathe, and there's action, action, action. This is not to say that there's not action in this. There's some very good scenes and set pieces, but it's not the priority here. It's a lot of talk and a lot of ends being wrapped up, I guess, in one way or another. It all begins with a big car crash in which Jean Grey, who we met in X-Men Apocalypse 3 years ago, we see her as a young girl, and she has these powers, and the powers cause a fatal crash, killing, she thinks, at least her mother and father in this crash. And then cut several years later, she has been now brought up by Professor Xavier, played again by James McAvoy, and he's bringing her up. He's got a nice touch with her and overseeing clearly the telekinetic powers that she has and making sure they're used for good, not for bad. Now, the older version is played by Sophie Turner of Game of Thrones fame. At any rate, she gets into all kinds of conflicts with other people and, most importantly, with herself over the use of her powers. They become overwhelming to her, and she is very, very complicated here. Does she do good? Does she go to the dark side, as this new character, Vuk, would have her do, played by Jessica Chastain? She's an alien with absolutely zero personality, and Chastain plays her as flat as you possibly can. At any rate, she is encouraging her to take over the world with her powers, to do this because, you know, Buck's got her own thing going on here. She wants to bring back her people who were destroyed, and she thinks she can do it right through Jean Grey, or Dark Phoenix as she's known. Magneto shows up in the picture. Michael Fassbender, he's back, and he's definitely out to stop her. Gets in a really cool fight with her, by the way, at one point there. Beast, played by Nicholas Hoult. I thought that those two characters were the most passionate and the most emotional. At least they worked up some emotion in this thing. And so I liked their scenes. Jennifer Lawrence, back for the 4th time in the series here in X-Men, has the line of the movie.
And I care about their safety just as much as you do.
Are you sure about that? Because we're taking bigger and bigger risks. And for what? Please, tell me it's not your ego. Being on the cover of magazines, getting a medal from the president. You like it, don't you?
As opposed to being hunted and despised, well, you know, actually I do. It's all just a means to an end, Raven.
What end is that?
Keeping us safe. You should understand better than anyone that we're only ever one bad day away from them starting to see us as the enemy again.
So what? We wear matching costumes and smile in pictures to make everyone feel safe?
That is a small price to pay for keeping the peace.
By risking our people to save theirs.
Yes, yes.
It's funny. I can't actually remember the last time you were the one risking something. And by the way, the women are always saving the men around here. You might want to think about changing the name to X-Women.
That got big applause in the audience that I saw this movie with, and if only the script had a little more of that kind of wit, a little more of that kind of dialogue, it might have risen to the level of some of the other films in this series. This is pure summer movie entertainment, just as you'd expect, but I expected so much more for a so-called finale. This one just sort of lays there in that regard, and I was disappointed on that level. So, you know, for uber fans of this story of X-Men, I have to say you will go and make up your own mind. But for the rest of us looking for something to jump out like Logan did, for instance, this ain't that. And I would have to say, no.